Obviously starting out 0-2 in conference play is not something that we wanted to do. It's also not something we prepared for. We prepared. I feel like my coaching staff did a good job of preparing the team for these two games, clearly understanding how hard these teams play. These kids, honestly, the entire conference, you're going against teams that play hard, and it's conference time. And in conference time, you have to be able to execute. We didn't execute again. 2 games in a row now where we've put the team to the free throw line, and they've executed at the free throw line. So fouling is something we have to work on, continuously moving our feet defensively, not putting the opposing team to the free throw line for sure. And then in the game, obviously, losing Kennedy, it's tough when you lose a kid with a assist-to-turnover ratio and the assists that she's able to create for us. I think that obviously it has an impact on the game with the 19 turnovers that you see. But I also had confidence going into this game that we wouldn't necessarily fall short because we didn't have Kennedy. We need to step it up defensively, and that's where we faltered. As I just take a quick look at the stats and then going through this game.
Coach, is there any update on Kennedy and when she might be back, and what's the update on her?
Well, the update right now on Kennedy is that we're not sure exactly when she'll be back. She had an injury in from the last game. That's really how she's sitting out, and so we're just going to stay prayerful and hope that she gets back soon. But I honestly, Drew, I really don't know when she's going to return.
You said you weren't expecting it to have too much of an impact on this game, but how much did it have this game without her playmaking out there?
Without looking at the score, without watching the film, it's hard to say. But I will tell you that initially it took our offense a little while to get going, right? It put us in a position right now because for the most part, Bailey's been able to play more to 2 spot, and when we need her to run at the 1 or we need her to initiate, she does a good job with that. It hasn't primarily fallen on her this year, and so that allows Bailey to be able to get the shots that she's able to, comfortable shots, not just the rest of the team. So putting the ball back in Bailey's hands then at times eliminated, another offensive option for us, especially, on those initial catches against their zone. It's hard to say, again, Drew, how much of effect it had. I definitely think it had an effect, though, to start out the game because we're really struggling finding our offensive rhythm. And then we started to find it there towards, I feel like really in the third quarter we started to find it. He had to switch up what he did defensively. It didn't work, and so we switched it back again. And so that's when I felt like our kids got into a better rhythm.
Denajan, Ivy, it seemed like it was kind of an ugly game. Offensively, both teams were kind of missing shots there. What made it tough to get the offense going in this game?
I just think that probably missing KT in the beginning, it took us a minute to adjust, and then just trying to find the gaps and the open shots. It was kind of tough at the beginning. It just took us a minute to find that flow, I guess, without Kennedy being there.
Pretty much the same thing. That's at halftime we had to make some adjustments and realize, talk about the defense, how they were defending, and find the open gaps, and just make open shots too.
Ivy, you had a career-high 13 today, and you had a career-high 12 2 games ago against Alcorn. How have you been stepping it up recently offensively?
I've just been trying to be aggressive and just be another option for my team. Now that it's conference, people scout us and stuff, so the scores get a little bit harder, so I've just been trying to be another option for my team and being aggressive for them.
And I'm really proud of Ivy because I feel like Ivy's done a good job of still taking good shots within our offense and not necessarily feeling pressured when it was a tough night, obviously, for Brooke, and even a little bit for Bailey. They worked her pretty good, I think, in the zone, really making her have to work for those threes that she got. It's good that when you have kids like Ivy that still take shots in rhythm, like she said, and step up for her team.
Coach, usually when we talk about Ivy, you talk about a lot about her defensive presence, and we've seen her guard the other team's best perimeter players these past couple games. What can you say about her defensive presence?
I mean, very similar to Kennedy. If we didn't have Ivy out there on the floor, I think we'd have to make quite a few different adjustments. What Ivy does for the team defensively is truly, especially when it comes to guard play, she truly makes it tough on the opposing team. So they may not get that initial look. They're going to have to work a little bit harder to work for a good shot, and that's an asset that any team loves to have, is a true lockdown defender, and we get that from Ivy.
Coach, what do you feel like was the issue with the points off of turnovers, the gap there between 22 and 5?
I think, again, it goes back to flow of offense. So, we had the opportunity to get some second chance points, right? We had those 11 offensive rebounds. We turned them over a little bit as well. just finding that flow of knowing. I think there's when you take out a starting point guard from the equation, especially one that has a assist to turnover ratio that Kennedy has, the team is always going to have a thought process. Okay, all right, let's step up and let's find these shots. I think that's a product of what you see right now, the inability to be able to get something out of those second chance opportunities, mostly because they wanted to, but we're just pressing a little too hard, if that makes sense, versus just trusting, pulling it back. Let's run offense to something good. I think we just wanted it too quickly.
And Denasia and Ivy, what do you feel like the team needs to do these next couple games to bounce back from the loss?
We've really been pressing on being harder on each other in practice and focusing on the details. So I'm sure once we get back in the gym, we're going to be even harder on each other, making sure we're all going hard and focused and locked in and just pushing each other every day in practice to get better so that we can start getting wins in conference.
I'd say the same thing, just focus and taking accountability for ourselves. We've been working on our responses back to our coaches and our teammates when people are getting on us. So just locking in and focusing and also practicing in-game adjustments. How we can get better at that too.